Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Just barely good afternoon. My name is Scott Cooper, and on behalf of Charlotte Motor Speedway, we're very pleased to welcome you today to our kickoff for the 30th anniversary weekend of the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've got a lot in store not only today, but as we look ahead throughout the 10 days of NASCAR Thunder at Charlotte over the next 2 weekends. And we're actually going to start off today talking about a little bit of something for the back end of our 10 days of NASCAR Thunder, looking ahead to Memorial Day weekend. I want to kick it off and kick it over to a true veteran here at the Speedway. Doug Rice is the president of the Performance Racing Network and been part of that broadcast team and our team here at Charlotte for many, many years. Also to his right, let me introduce Heidi Massey-Bong, who's the Senior Business Advisor of NASCAR Sponsorship for the Shell Oil Company. And of course, to my immediate right, Joey Logano, who is going to be racing that Pennzoil Ford as we look ahead to tomorrow night and look ahead to next weekend with Coca Cola 600. Doug, you've been here quite a while. I'm not going to give away your age, but looking at Memorial Day weekend, what special memories or special moments do you have?
I've been attending races here since 1980, either as a fan or covering the sport. The 1980 600 was awesome. Darrell Waltrip and Benny Parsons swapping the lead. My wife and I sat in the grandstands through 2 rain delays. This was pre-lights, so when they finished the race, it was just about dark, and Benny won that race. That was a great race. The 93 one, when Dale Earnhardt won here, was pretty cool. In 1994 was the first year I was in the booth for PRN, and that was also Jeff Gordon's first win, his first 600, and those kind of stick out for me. I've got to be honest, the year that I was in the stands and we got wet was the most memorable, but the other one's been kind of cool.
Well, yeah, you know, whenever I talk to a broadcaster, it's like trying to keep them to keep it brief is always a challenge.
There you go.
It's a little bit of a challenge with Doug, too. But, Joey, obviously you're still searching for that first Coca Cola 600 victory, which I know is going to be a memorable moment on Memorial Day weekend when that happens for you. But talk about Memorial Day for you and kind of what's been special. What memories do you have?
Memorial Day has always been a special day. You know, I think as any racer growing up, you always remember racing on Memorial Day since you were, you know, for me, 6 years old racing quarter midgets, and that was always the big races on that weekend. And obviously growing up, Coca Cola 600, Indy 500, you know, and you get to you know, participate in one of those big races at the Coca Cola 600, but even more importantly, you know, what the day actually means for our military, and you know, to see what this racetrack does on Memorial Day before the races, and I'm sure there'll be another big one. There always seems to be when we come out here to Charlotte and do a big deal before the race, and really make sure we honor and say thank you to our military. But it is fun. It's a big day to be able to you know, kind of wake up in the morning and get ready to watch the Indy 500 as you get ready to race the Coca Cola 600, and then my man to the right here, Doug Rice, gets to do both. Like, how cool is that? He gets to go up there and broadcast the Indy 500 and then go back and do the Coca Cola 600 here that night. And I think that's obviously very challenging. I don't know if they're going to have to give you IVs like they do the race car drivers, but it's a lot of talking. I know that.
I don't want any needles around. There will be a lot of talking.
Apparently you've been talking for a long time, so you have a lot of experience at it. So.
Sometimes the 600's as long as the 500 and the 600 put together. So
yes, I would say it could be. It could be. Hopefully we get a lot of green flag racing for you. But that's definitely an awesome opportunity for you, for sure, to be able to go to both races. I don't know how many people have actually done that. To even watch both of them, for, you know, I'm pretty sure no one's actually done it in broadcasting, and there's only been a select few of drivers that have done it. So to have your name as one of those guys, that's something pretty cool.
Yeah, as Joey said, this year I'll be attending the Indianapolis 500. I'll be going up and working for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network as one of their pit reporters, and then courtesy of Shell, we'll be whisked down to the Concord Airport, and then they'll get us over here in time, hopefully before they drop the green flag and we get to see you run in the Coca Cola 600. And looking forward to doing the broadcast double. It's something that I have wanted to do for a long time, ever since John Andretti pulled the first one off. I thought that'd be cool. So very, very thrilled in anticipation of getting that done. It'll be a long day, but it's going to be worth it.
You know, Doug, for you to do this Doug double, There is no.
That sounds like
being
a really
late.
bad sandwich, by the way.
I mean, there is no being late here for the Coca Cola 600. You got to remember what your primary job is here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Heidi, on behalf of Shell, you've gotten involved in this project. Talk a little bit about what Shell is interested in and bringing to the table for this unique opportunity.
Sure. So we're excited to get an opportunity to share this experience with Doug. As you can imagine, Memorial Day weekend is very special to us. We actually get up earlier and watch Monaco because that's important for us around our Formula One experience. And
I may not be there for that.
What time does that one start?
A little earlier than Indy, that's for sure. But we did logistically look to see if we could do all three. Not possible. But so we get up earlier. We participate in all of those. We have assets in all of these races. And you will find out next weekend that it's part of a much larger launch for us, that we're excited to share some exciting news with you next week. We'll have some special paint schemes going on that weekend. We all saw Elio's car this week, and definitely different poses than we preferred to see them. And then we'll have a very similar paint scheme for Joey as well next weekend.
We didn't have any branding underneath Elio's car.
Missed opportunity.
I'll let you bring that up to Roger. Maybe we should do something here. I do want to thank, of course, my bosses, Marcus and Bruton Smith, the folks at IMS Radio and Shell for giving me an opportunity to do this. I did work with the IndyCar Radio Network for 4 years, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, but this will be my first Indy 500, so looking forward to getting there and then coming down here, maybe seeing you win the 600. That'd be nice.
That'd be great.
Well, so we've talked about you doing the double. Of course, Shell's going to have the paint schemes opportunity there. This is also, on behalf for Penske, chance to have a big double in that day as well with Elio running and then, of course, Joey running here. Joey, talk about those chances, how you think that would be for Penske to be able to pull that off.
I know how much the Indy 500 means to Roger Penske, and you see it every time you walk into the shop. The first thing you do is when you walk in, you see a ton of Indy 500 trophies. Now there's a couple Daytona 500 trophies, which is nice. But that race means a lot to him for sure, and we always root those guys on. The IndyCar shop is right inside the same shop we work out of, so there's a lot of cross, with some people kind of work on both cars. The machine shop obviously builds parts for both cars. So we try to be one as much as we possibly can. And, when we win races, they have the happy hours on Mondays at 3 o'clock, and everyone rewatches the race, and everyone makes a little speech about what happened that race. It kind of keeps us all together as one team, NASCAR and IndyCar. And, it's kind of fun. I know as a driver, it makes me want to watch it even more because I feel like we're part of one team, Team Penske, and so they got to do their part first, and then we have to do our part in the Coke 600. So hopefully it's one of those winning weekends, and be something really special. I know for the whole team, especially for Roger, something that I'm not sure he's ever done before to be able to win those two races, especially something of that caliber in the same day. It'd be pretty neat.
Very good. Now, Joey, obviously you take good care of yourself. You stay in good shape. Every time we hear about these drivers doing the double, they always go through a big training regimen. Doug, got anything?
I'm hoping to stay
here?
awake, yeah. I think I'm going to have enough adrenaline that day that I'll be good to go. I'm not going to watch Monaco, though, so I'm going to let Heidi and everybody else take care of that. But
it's a lot of notes to study.
It is a lot of notes. There's
a lot of notes.
There's a lot of difference. And the very first IndyCar race ever broadcast was here at Charlotte when the IndyCars ran here, and Bob Jenkins was anchoring it. And I was in the turns for that race. And there was about 5 laps of action, then a caution. And Bob Jenkins comes on the intercom and he goes, 2 things, Doug. He said, you don't need to talk as long. They're going faster. He was very nice about it. And he goes, Indy cars don't run bumper to bumper. And it's a very good point. So I always appreciate Bob Jenkins for gently doing that to me.
That is very cool. So Doug Rice, president of Performance Racing Network, is going to be doing the double next weekend with some help from Shell, and we're proud to be able to announce that today. Let's open it up to the room and see if anybody has a couple of questions. We've got Lewis with the microphone and Rumor over on this side. Let's start here on the front, and then we'll go back to Stan.
Louis Frank of Reuters. Well, Joey, this begs a question. I understand your boss has a little bit of success at Indy. Would you consider doing the double at some time? You're young enough.
It's never really crossed my mind. For me, I've got my hands full trying to win the Coca Cola 600. I've yet to win one race, so it wouldn't really make sense for me to try to win two. So, for me, NASCAR is my focus. It's what I wanted to do my whole life since I was little, and it's an amazing opportunity here. And I feel like for me, I owe it to my team to put in 100%. In trying to win a championship, trying to win one of the biggest races of the year this upcoming weekend. For me right now, I'm focused on one thing, and that's just winning a race here.
Back here.
Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. Doug, you kind of touched this just a little bit with Bob Jenkins, but how much have you done to ensure when you call this race from the pit stops up there in Indy, you don't make mistakes? They fuel differently. Their pit stops are totally different.
I have been watching, I think, just about every minute of IndyCar coverage throughout the year, and they're not going to throw the jacks under the thing and pour Unical gasoline into it or Sunoco or whatever. It's going to be a little different scenario, and having been on that side of the fence before, some of those mistakes, which I have made in the past, hopefully won't get replicated this time. There's been a lot of study, and the language and the terminology is a world of difference. I have promised myself not to get out over my skis and try to talk about things I don't know.
Do you know what understeer and oversteer is?
I'm working on that.
I'm not sure either. I was asking you.
and I've been told that if I'm listening to Elio's pits, which I will be, the two voices that I hear are Rick Mears and Roger Penske. So, that's
pretty cool.
God's ear to God's ear with those guys.
So you better listen.
Yeah.
Let's go here to Viv. Louis.
Viv Bernstein, New York Times. Sorry to change the subject a little, Joey. What we've seen since Kyle Busch's injury is racetracks around the circuit putting in soft walls. I'm wondering if drivers are frustrated at all. It took that level of accident for this level of safety improvement.
Unfortunately, we see that a lot, not just in racing, but in life. A lot of times you don't react until you see something bad happen, and you're like, oh, shoot, maybe we should have done this or do this to make sure it doesn't happen again. We've seen a lot of things change in our sport after Earnhardt's crash, and the sport's really come along a lot. And unfortunately, we see a lot of big gains after something goes terribly wrong. I think the racetracks have definitely looked at it a lot more. NASCAR, I know, is looking at it. We tested up in Dover this last week, and I was up there talking with NASCAR about where we can improve our inside wall, safer barriers, what we can do to make that track safer. Everyone's looking at it now, and I think that's something that's very important for our sport to at least look at it and be able to improve on and make sure we don't have a crash like that again. And like I said, unfortunately, it took something like that to make it happen, but the positive is it's happening. Everyone's looking at it now, and we'll bring it to the next level.
Yes. One last question, and then we'll wrap up.
Mike Neff, FrontStretch.com. For you, Doug, not only is the racing different, but you're dealing with a different broadcast team. Have you been having meetings with them? Are you listening to their broadcasts behind the scenes to understand their terminology versus the PRN terminology?
I have, and fortunately, Mike, most of the folks that work for the IMS radio network I've worked with because PRN works with IMS to broadcast the Brickyard 400. So a lot of the same folks that they use for the Brickyard will be there for the Indy 500. So that's really good. We already have a really good relationship, and I've worked a lot of races with those folks. Paul Page will be the anchor. And it'll be my first time to be around Paul, so I know I've got to salute properly. I do know this. Friday is carb day, but there are no carburetors on carb day. So I feel like I'm slightly ahead of the curve there. Thanks, Mike.
Well, Doug, congratulations on the opportunity. I know it's going to be something that we'll all look forward to watching and see how you do next weekend. Joey, good luck this weekend with the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. Be great to take home $1 million tomorrow night, wouldn't it?
Man, I would love that. That'd be okay with me.
And courtesy of Heidi and her team at Shell Pennzoil, she's actually brought some gas cards as a media gift, and we'll be handing those out in conjunction with the press release about what Doug will be attempting next week to complete with the Doug Double. You know you're going to be stuck with that, Doug. Thank
Doug.
you all very much.
Thank you, guys.